said, this smells.
This smells. This smells absolutely amazing. Even though my paws was in the wrong place.
This smells good. Hey, how's it going, everybody? This is Jason with Art of Creation Homestead, and we're back in the kitchen with you today. We're going to do some more apple stuff, okay? It's that time of year. I hope you're ready for it. We went out and got some Granny Smith apples this weekend, and we're going to make some apple pie filling. We're canning apple pie filling today, okay? Obviously, I'm not the brains of this operation, so I'm going to bring you over here, and Angela's going to show you what we got going on, okay?
The thing we need to start with is telling you about the type of apples. We're using Granny Smiths because that's what I like to use for pies, because they tend to hold their shape. Anybody who's made apple pie knows you've got to have an apple that holds its shape and don't get all mushy and everything. You don't want that in a pie. So you want to use whatever you like to use to make apple pie. You want to use it for this.
And these are just seconds, by the way. They're not
these are seconds.
from an orchard.
But you can use anything you like for pies. You can use wine sap. You can use anything you like for pies. But we like Granny Smith.
And when we say seconds, it means it's just not the top quality. It's not the ones you're going to... It's going to have blemishes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you want, with this, you want about 12 pounds of apples. And we actually kind of did the legwork for you. These are all, as you can see, they're all about medium-sized apples. So, medium apples, we weighed them. We ended up with a total of 36 apples. Medium apples. So that's about what this will take. If you're using medium apples, it'll take about 36 because we did the work for you.
Well, I weighed them out and it's like literally every six apples were 2 pounds every time. So it's around.
So we did the work for you. So now let me show you everything we've got here so that we can get started. First off, we have our trusty apple peeler. And then we have 2 bowls of acidulated water, which means water with lemon juice in it, so that they don't turn brown, because you don't want them turning brown. This one is for the peels because we're going to make more apple jelly. If you have not watched that video, we will leave a link. And you need to watch that video because it's awesome. Not the video necessarily. Well, the video's good, but...
Yeah, you know.
The process is awesome.
Yeah. The jelly's great.
And this is for the apple wedges because you do not want them to turn brown. You want beautiful white apple wedges for your pie filling.
And the acidulated water makes them keeps them from turning brown. How?
Keeps them from oxidizing.
Okay.
Because without acid of some sort, you know, apples will turn brown very quickly.
Yeah, it's left out in the air.
And you want this to be beautiful pie filling because I promise you this is going to be so much better than what you get in cans in the store.
Yep. So we take one of these.
We have an apple wedger here, which we will have to show you how this needs to be done afterwards. So this, as we've told you in other videos, this peels, cores, and slices, but you do not want it to slice, so therefore it's not going to core. So you want to drop the blade. You want to drop the slicing blade. And that's how you do that. And I'm going to set since I'm making jelly, I'm going to set the peeling blade. That way it leaves a little meat on the peels. If you are not going to make apple jelly, you want to slide this blade all the way down so it just slides just barely under the skin. So now we're going to take our apples. You put it on the prongs and you just turn. And it will peel it really good for you. And really quick. And now we're going to put those in our water for making our apple pie. Our apple jelly later. You want to cut out any blemishes at this point, because you don't want that in your pie filling. So you want to cut out any blemishes, and you want to finish trimming it up because as you can see, the place that cores it is very small. So you want to make sure that what you've peeled off matches. So now what you want to do, you want to use this to wedge it and core it.
Keep your fingers clear.
Keep your fingers clear. And these, the first year that I made apple pie filling, I left it like this and found out that is way too big of a wedge for apple pie filling. So you want to take that wedge and you want to cut it in half. That way you have smaller wedges. You want to cut all of these wedges in half. Now they do make apple wedgers that cut in smaller wedges. And if you have one of those, then you are blessed. But this is also easy. To just take the wedges and take a little paring knife and cut them in half. It's easy. So you want to take these wedges that you have done and you want to drop them into your acidulated water. And we're going to get busy doing all these apples. Now we've already done all the apples. This isn't all of them, there's more. And we've got water to a gentle bubble because we need to blanch these apples just for a minute. You will do it in batches just for 1 minute, no more. Because you want them barely to start cooking, just barely. So now we're gonna put in a batch. You want to put in a good bit, but not so much that you can't get them out quickly. That's why I'm using this. That will get out a lot at one time.
And then when you're done, where do they go?
They go over in this pot and cover them.
Okay.
So that they stay warm.
Gotcha.
So now we'll start 1 minute. We've got all of our apples blanched, and as you can see, we have them over here with a lid on them. They will oxidize a tiny little bit,
There's
not a whole lot.
There's more apples than that.
There's more apples than that. They will oxidize a tiny little bit, but it doesn't matter because your gel that surrounds them is going to be brown from the cinnamon anyway, so it's fine. Don't stress out over that. So now we're going to make our gel, but you have to know this. You have to have everything ready. Everything at your ready, because if you don't, you're going to be scrambling because this whole process is quick.
You don't want to be in scramble mode going now.
This whole process is quick, so have your flats, your jars washed and heated and sanitized, your flats in hot water, have your canning station that I've told you about set up, and have everything ready. So now I'm going to tell you what's in here. There's 5.5 cups of pure cane sugar. There is a tablespoon of cinnamon. And here's my little secret. There's 3/4 of a teaspoon of cardamom, which I also used in the apple butter recipe. If you haven't watched that, you need to. And over here, this powder that looks like cornstarch is not cornstarch. This is clear gel. It's originally an Amish product, and it's basically cornstarch mixed with other stuff, mixed with pectin and different things. This is what I use. I got it from Amazon. Amazon always has it. And if you don't have this, you can use cornstarch, but you're not going to be happy with the end product. What this clear gel does, this is 1.5 cups of clear gel. What this does, it makes your pie filling like the stuff you buy in the store that has that nice jelly around it. That nice like gel that is around it. It makes that. If you use cornstarch instead, after it goes through the water bath canning process, the cornstarch is not going to hold to that heat. And it's going to give, and it's going to go liquidy again.
And you can't skip and use Sure Gel either. Sure
and you cannot, if you use Sure Gel, it's going to seize up completely like a jam or a jelly. And you're not going to be happy with that product either, because basically you're going to end up with apple jam.
Or a scoopable Jello type thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
So what you want to do, you want your sugar and your clear gel and your spices all in here together. And you're going to stir them all together. Your sugar is going to work as an abrasive to break up any lumps in your clear gel, because as you can see, there's lumps in the clear gel because it's a very fine powder. That sugar is going to work as an abrasive to break up those lumps. So you want to stir that together really good. Because see, you can see those lumps breaking up as that sugar is working as an abrasive.
You're also mixing the spices in too.
Yes, that way. And also sometimes there's lumps in cinnamon.
Yeah.
And you do not want to get a lump of cinnamon. And see, now it's all broke up. The spices are all mixed in. Now you're going to add your liquid. You're adding 7.5 cups of liquid here. 5 of those cups has to be apple juice. Okay? We have 4 cups here. Now we're going to add 3. And at this point, you can add 1 more cup. It's 5 cups. You have to have 5 cups of apple juice. Then you can add 2.5 cups of water if you want to. Or you can add 2.5 more cups of apple juice.
Or whatever combination of that 2.5 cups there.
Or whatever combination. As long as it's 5 cups of apple juice, the 2.5 cups can be water, apple juice, or a mix of both. The more apple juice you add, the more flavor you're going to add. So I do all 7.5 cups. I do all 7.5 cups of apple juice. And the good thing is...
So you need 3.5 cups there?
Yes.
Okay.
The good thing is, a 64-ounce bottle of apple juice, which is the typical size you buy in the store, is actually...
Take care of that pretty much.
Pretty much enough. With just a little bit left over.
Yep.
So, there's no reason to not use...
Apple juice has more flavor than water.
Yes, there's no reason to not use all apple juice. So you want to stir this all in together. And then we're going to turn our heat on. And you want to turn the heat on medium-high. And stir this constantly until it thickens. See, we're going to turn it on medium-high, which is about a 7 if you have numbers. You want to turn it on medium-high, and you want to cook it until it starts to thicken and just starts to bubble. And then we'll be back and I'll show you what you do next.
By the way, we will leave a link to this on Amazon in the description, okay?
Okay, now it's starting to thicken. You're going to want to take your wooden spoon and scrape the bottom of your pot, because it's starting to gel in the bottom of your pot. So you want to make sure that you scrape the bottom of your pot. Because see, you can see on the end of my spoon where it's starting to gel. And this, where it's milky right now, where that's milky looking right now, part of the beauty of clear gel is this is going to become completely clear. So it's starting to come up to, it's starting to thicken. And it's going to look really weird because you're going to see particles bobbing up and down in it. That's it starting to gel. See, you're starting to see those bobbing up and down in it when I stir it. You want to stir constantly. And constantly scrape the bottom of your pot. See, it's getting really thick now. See, it's getting really thick and starting to get clear on you.
And this is just a few minutes after our last video here, so.
And see, when you start seeing little bubbles, now you add in 3/4 of a cup of lemon juice. Stir that in, bring it to a boil, which, as you can see, it's not going to take long.
Be clear.
And be careful of those.
It's going to get hot.
It's going to be hot. And once you get this lemon juice stirred in, you want to cook it for 1 minute, stirring constantly. This is like molten lava, so don't let it splash you. Don't let it pop you. Okay, now 1 minute. Okay, now you fold in your apples into this. You start folding in your apples. If you have to put some in another pot, that's fine. I always have to put some in another pot because it makes a lot.
You turn off your heat at this point too, right?
Yes, you turn off your heat. You make sure your heat is turned off because you don't want it to cook anymore. And see, look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? You've got that beautiful gel. You won't get this if you use cornstarch instead. It may look this way at first, but after it goes through the process, after it goes through the water bath process, it will collapse on you and it will go liquid again. And then you will have a runny pie filling that when you go to use it, you will have to add more cornstarch to thicken it back up. So now, at this point, we're going to dip some off and put it over here in this pot. And because we've got more apples to add.
If you have a huge pot, it's great. If you don't,
we don't have a huge pot.
And not everybody does. It's okay. You know. So this is what we're doing.
So this is what we're doing. But this is easy because at this point your heat's cut off, so you don't have to scramble at this point. And this smells amazing. You've got to understand how this smells.
Pause though. You said this smells.
This smells. This smells absolutely amazing. Even though my pause was in the wrong place.
This smells good.
Now we'll get the rest of the apples. We're going to add some apples to here. And the rest of the apples over here.
Do you need more gel over there? I don't know.
I will.
Let's move more gel.
I will add more gel over there. It will be fine.
This may or may not make the full video.
If it does make the full video, it will give y'all a good laugh.
Hopefully.
Or annoy you. Hopefully give you a good laugh. Woo! Once you get all of these apples folded in really well, it's ready to jar up.
Yeah.
Literally, it's that fast. Yeah. And do yourself a favor. Don't throw apples everywhere.
Apples everywhere.
Look at this gloriousness right there.
It's nice.
It looks very similar to what you buy in the cans in the store, but I promise you it tastes so much better.
It's worth the effort.
It's worth the effort. It's definitely worth the effort. Now we're going to start jarring it up. Now the heat's off, so you have time. You don't have to worry about it because the heat is off at this point. So this is very important what I'm about to tell you, because clear gel, once it goes through the water bath process, it expands like you would not believe inside the jar. You want a generous 1-inch headspace. Ball is marked this line, the seam right here, right below this lip. See this seam? That's your 1-inch mark. Let me move that so you can see it better. See, that's your 1-inch mark. You want a generous 1 inch. So I'm going to take it to about right there.
1 to 1 1/4 inches?
Yes.
Honestly.
Because it is going to expand like crazy. And if it expands too much, it will spew out the top underneath the flat. You won't get a secure seal and it will come loose. Your seal will come loose.
Yeah, you gotta make sure you got good headspace on this.
This is more important than any other headspace that I've told you in any videos. And this makes the best apple pies. I've also used this as a cheesecake topping as well.
Yeah, it was. You guys don't understand. She makes good cheesecake. I mean, like, you think you make good cheesecake? Nope, you don't. She does.
I'm sure there's other people makes good cheesecake.
And they're lying to themselves. It's not as good as hers. You're lying to yourself if you think your cheesecake's as good as hers. She won't tell you that. I will tell you that.
And he's wrong.
Nope.
He's biased.
Nope. I don't buy nobody.
Okay. Okay. See? Now you want to debubble, which with clear gel you're going to have a lot of bubbles anyways. So you're not going to get all the bubbles out of clear gel.
Shake that down or anything? Would it help to shake it?
No, you don't want to shake it.
Don't touch it, it's too hot.
You don't want to shake it.
You'll burn your crazy self.
You'll burn yourself up. Okay. Now see, I left a very generous.
You're at 1 1/4 inch. That's what you
because
mean.
Literally it's going to expand like mad. Now you want, as you can tell, there's a little bit around the top. You want to wipe that completely clean with a damp paper towel. Okay. See, I left just a little bit right there. You don't even want that little bit of gel there. Now you want to take a hot flat that we have put in boiling water, set it on there, and now you put your ring. See, these are your rings. You put it on there, screw it down just finger tight, and now you want to put it in your canner. Take the lid off. Lovely camera, mister.
Lovely camera fella.
Okay, now we're going to put this in our canner. This is the Ball Electric Water Bath canner. You can also use a stovetop canner. And we're going to keep filling these jars and we'll be back. The last one going in.
It's a beautiful jar of apples.
It's absolutely gorgeous.
And it tastes good. I took a as we defog here, I took a little sample out of the bowl.
Okay. Now you want to move your jars around, make sure that they're evenly spaced. Don't let them knock together a lot. Okay. Now, as you guys know, if you've watched my other canning videos, the Ball Electric Water Bath canner has a plate to hold the jars in place. You want to set the plate down on top. If you're doing this on a stovetop one, it won't have the plate. You just go ahead and put the lid on. Now you put the lid on, bring it back up to a good boil. Once you see bubbles coming to the top really well, then you start timing. You let this process for 25 minutes. Then you turn off the heat for 5 minutes, let the boil come down and everything before you take them out.
Full disclosure, we've got another quart of apples here, okay? But, so we did a full 12 pounds, all right? So obviously it's 10 to 12 pounds. You probably get away with 11, but it's not going to hurt you to have this much left over.
You can either jar it up and process again.
Yeah. Or you could go ahead and put it in the fridge, mix it with some yogurt or some vanilla ice cream, and have yourself a nice little snack and reward yourself for all the dang work you did.
Or even make yourself a pie out of it.
You can make pie right now, whatever. But hey, fully usable. But understand, we actually did probably get 8 quarts plus a little out of that 12 pounds. Okay.
It's processed for 25 minutes. We've let it set for a little over 5 minutes, which is fine with this because the longer it sets, the more it relaxes.
We already got one out.
We've already got one out so that I have wiggle room. So now, with this, because this clear gel has expanded so much, I don't recommend tipping it at all to get any water off. Just pull straight up, as steady as you can pull it. Straight up and straight over. With a very steady hand. And you want to keep doing that very steady. And as you can see, there's all this water on top. So now I'm going to show you how to get rid of it. Just gently take paper towel or a rag, a dish towel, whatever, and just gently dab. But you want to be gentle, because see that little popper right there? You don't want to accidentally push it down, because then you've sealed it, it hasn't sealed itself, and it'll have a false seal, and eventually it'll come unsealed. So you want to dab all of this water off. You want to get all the water off the tops, and then you want these to sit for 18 to 24 hours. Don't touch them, don't move them around. And I always tell you that. If you've watched my canning videos, I always tell you that. But with this, it's even more important, because this clear gel will expand. It will keep expanding and contracting. You do not want to risk it expanding and spewing out the top before your seal is made. So you do not want to let this, you do not want to move this around. Literally, leave them where they are at for 18 to 24 hours.